Moto adventures, traveling, buddies. Where are you going? How are you going to do it? How do you put it all together? Well, you know what? This weekend, I got to sit down with a really good friend of mine, and we worked on trying to put together a moto, and I think we've got a plan together. We're going to talk about it next on the Radio 690 ADV. KTM North Texas is your headquarters for everything KTM and your one-stop shop. Hey guys, Joe here, 690 ADV. Are you looking for a new KTM bike? Yeah, they got them. They got adventures, enduros, dirt, racing, street, parts and service? Yeah, they got it. KTM North Texas is one of the largest aftermarket parts suppliers and repair shops in the state of Texas. Yeah, Texas. They don't just service KTM. They service most every major brand out there. If you're needing a fix or just getting race ready, you needing some new gear? Yeah, KTM North Texas, they got it. From helmets to jackets, pants, boots, goggles, tires, rims, new plastics, and so much more. So if you want great deals and to be treated just like family, don't wait. Call 817-275-2228 or text 682-465-6637. Or you can just email Bert directly at bert@slmracing.com. Don't forget, tell him 690 ADV sent you. That way you get your discount. Hey, what is up? What's going on, everybody? Joe here, Radio 690 ADV. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic day. Happy morning. Happy everything. Hopefully you got your coffee. You can sit around, listen into the old 690, talk about stuff that doesn't make probably a whole lot of sense to a lot of people, but hey, the podcast goes on. Anyway, don't forget, if you need anything for your motorcycles, any gear, any add-ons, any of that stuff, don't forget, we really do appreciate KTM North Texas. They're a great supporter of the channel, and give them a shout out and get with Bert over there. He will definitely take care of you, and that's Bert, BERT, at slmracing.com. And don't forget, the number's right there on the little advertisement. And you can shoot him a text if you want, and he will definitely call you back or text you back and take care of you. Anywhere in the country. Remember that, anywhere in the country. Anyway, moto adventuring and getting out and traveling and doing the things that you do and all that stuff, you know, with your buddies, or do you go solo or any of that type of stuff, you know. There's a little, you know, it's kind of funny because there's a lot of moving parts that go into trying to put together a moto adventure. And if you've never done one before and you're new to this type of stuff and you just found the channel and things like that, there's definitely quite a bit that goes into putting together a little moto adventure, you know, because it's not just for you, it's for you, the other guys that are going on the trip with you, depending on if it's one guy, two guy, three guys. I try not to do more than about, you know, 3 or 4 guys maximum, just because there's just too many moving parts, and everybody can't always 100% be with everybody, and you're not going to please everybody. That's the main thing, is pleasing everybody. So sometimes you can get with a group and it's okay, you know, to ride for the day, but to ride, travel, camp, set up, tear down, ride, things to look at and stuff like that, it gets pretty difficult because, you know, somewhere down the road, more than likely, it may not be you, but somebody is going to get tweaked a little bit and a little upset. And I don't know if you've been on a large trip with multiple guys. And if you have, you know, let everybody else know, you know, what were some of the things and some of the problems that you had when you went on that trip, because there's no such thing as a perfect trip that everybody just 100% gets along. There's always some static somewhere along the lines, because just things are going to happen. You may want to pull over and shoot some video or take some pictures just because you've never been at that part of the country before or whatever, and they want to blow and go, and you kind of feel that maybe they should have pulled over with you, or vice versa. You know, they want to stop somewhere and rest for a minute, and you're not tired, and you know, you feel like you're running a little behind for the day and you'd like to get to your camp and do your things. And you feel like you're just wasting time, and, but there's a lot of things that can go along with that. But I think the biggest part of it, that's just a small snippet of it. I think the big part is getting everybody together and trying to make dates work for everybody. Not everybody works for the same company or they do the same thing. Some guys are self-employed like myself, and there are other guys that work for corporations. There's guys that work for, just your everyday stuff. Some guys are, I know guys that are pharmacists. There's guys that are, in the time of the year that you're going to go, can you make it all work? Because taking time off sometimes is really easier said than done. Sometimes it takes a little time to get a little time. So, to me, I think that's really the hardest part, is narrowing down an actual date, because just when you think you have a date, we were kind of digging in this weekend to try to figure a date. But what we did is we figured out that the date that we wanted to go, that's probably not going to work. It's kind of a little bit of a hot spot for people at the time that we wanted to go. And it's not that I don't want to see people, but I would like to keep it as low key as possible for the area that we're going to travel, because we're only going to get about 6 days. And I want to make sure that I can maximize and enjoy the time that I'm there. I don't want to run into a bunch of, people with Jeeps and stuff like that. I'm not antisocial, but I want to be able to enjoy the trails and the rocks and all that good stuff of where we're going. When we get a little closer, I'll probably do a podcast on where we're going to go. And if we see you out there, fantastic. If not, to each their own, and enjoy your own adventures. But sitting down, it can take hours upon hours going back and forth trying to figure it out. And we only have a portion of our trip together, because we still have another guy that we're trying to make sure that we can try to make all this work. And that's the hard thing, because at that time of the year, the other rider is going to, he's got specific times that he can actually take off. So it's kind of like, one hammer to the head to the next hammer to the head. So, I think we're going to be pretty good, but we'll see, on if it's going to work or not. But yeah, so picking your date and getting that all together and doing it ahead of time, because, where you're going to go, that's the thing you got to look at is the climate, the weather. What's it going to be like? Is it going to be hot? Is it going to be cold? How am I going to pack for that trip? What's the terrain like? What kind of tires am I going to need? Where are potential campsites where we can either camp or is it somewhere that we're not even going to be able to free camp? So we're going to have to find, either, state parks or camp areas, and, so there's quite a few things that go into that. What kind of ground is it that we're going to? Is it rock? Is it sand? Treed, non-treed? What am I going to attach my tent to? Am I going to take a tent? Can I take a hammock? There's just a lot of things. There's moving parts. And a lot of people don't think about this stuff when they go on a trip. They just jam a bunch of stuff in a bag and they take off and they go. And they're like, man, you know what? I should have spent a little bit more time. I'm not saying spend a ton of time, but I'm just saying spend a little bit of time, do the research and spend the time of where you're going, and make sure you maximize your gear and things that you're going to do, and kind of plan a little bit out before you go. And I know there's a lot of guys out there that do that, but the new guys get so excited, I think, sometimes that they miss and they forget. And they overpack. And what I mean by overpack, I mean overpack. I mean, they take way too much stuff. And, if you're not, going to be able to, stay in, in certain areas or have a tag truck or something like that, you're not going to be able to drop any of that gear. So you're pretty much stuck with what you got, or throw it into a trash bin or a dumpster, which is not really a whole lot of fun. So with that being said, the climate, where you going, what's the terrain like, all those types of things, and you get all that together, then you got to figure out, the dates and stuff like that. So when you figure out your dates or what month or whatever, you get all that done, then how are you going to get there? Are you going to ride there? Are you going to trailer there and then drop off and then go? Are you going to, you get a lot of guys that hammer down on guys saying, oh, you need to ride everywhere you go. When time's short, you know what? It's easier to chew miles in a vehicle than it is to chew on a bike. I've done it both ways, and I see the positives in packing it up and hauling on your bike and doing, if you've got time to do it. If you don't, then it's kind of hard. You know, you get some of these guys that live out in that area that you're going to be going, and to them, it's their backyard. For us in Texas, if you've never ridden across Texas, then you don't even know what you're talking about. Texas can take 2 days to get out of, just to ride. And you'll get some guys be like, oh man, I can blow it in a dog, do it, man, one shot, whatever. Yeah, you can, but you're going to sleep the next day, and you're going to need a new butt whenever you get to where you're going, you know. And I know the Iron Butt Challenge. I know all that type of stuff. You know, I'm not into that. That's not my thing. I'm a 49-year-old man, and I don't have time to sit there and try to prove something to somebody. I want to ride. I want to enjoy. I want to do things I want to do, and I want to have a good time. I don't want to sit there and try to prove something to somebody. I don't care what people think about me. I don't care what people think about, you know, my bike and the way that I do the things that I do. And it doesn't affect me. I'm not in high school anymore, so it doesn't bother me. But that's the thing, you know, how are you going to get there? How are you going to get to where you're going to go? And what are you going to do when you get there? And so, that's kind of the thing that we sat this weekend and figured out, you know, what are we going to do to get there and maximize our time, because that's really what it's all about. I work a lot. You know, I'm not independently wealthy. I don't have some trust fund that's going to sit there and support my life, you know, somewhere down the road. You know, I have a job. I have a family. I have kids. You know, I have things. I have people that rely on me, you know, in our company and stuff like that. And I don't get to just sit there and just loaf off just because, you know, if you've never owned a company, then you don't really 100% know what it's like to run a business. To run a business does not mean you have all this freedom. Actually, you have less freedom than the guys that actually work for the company. So that's really what it boils down to is how are we going to get there? So what we've decided is, since we only got 6 days and we have about 600 miles in, 600 out, and we haven't even put together roughly what we want to see. We've just put together just the loop. We did that this weekend to get there and get home. We're working on the dates. We think we got it nailed down. You know, we're looking at 1,200 mile flip. So if we ride down there on bikes, you know, depending on the tire that we put on, it's going to be rocky, hills, mountains, sand, stuff like that. Basically means we're going to need a knobby, or some type of knob tire. You know, I like 50/50s on my tire. 1,200 miles, I've pretty much, for the type of tire that I want to run, I've already, that tire is going to be 30% gone just on the flip. So then I got to ride and do all my stuff. So to me, you know, we decided on what we're going to do. Don't really care what people think about it. We're going to trailer our bikes down. And so we're going to maximize our time because we've got 6 days. So that means we can get up early. We can be there by lunch or just after. And then we can offload, set up camp, and we're ready to go. We don't have to sit there and fool with a bunch of stuff. So that makes the most sense to us, for the amount of time that we have to go. So I don't know how how you do it. And I'm sure I'll catch flack from people telling me, oh, blah, 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 blah. You know, you should always ride where you go. You're not a real adventure rider. Well, you know, I've got about probably 50,000 miles both ways, trailer in it. And just, you know, to me, it just makes more sense. I'm not going to eat a tire up and be miserable, just to prove something to somebody that I'm probably never going to see or meet. So, but yeah, so those are just some of the things you want to think about. And the hole goes deeper and deeper and deeper. So I don't, you know, if you're new to this and you're listening in on the channel and stuff like that, and you're thinking about going on a moto, these are just some of the things, you know, if you need any help or anything like that, feel free to email me at 690adv@gmail.com, and I'll do my best to help you out and give you some tips and some trips and stuff, or tricks like that. And some of the things that we do, mapping and stuff like that, some of the mapping programs that we use, and how to use your GPSs, and how to pinpoint, how to do waypoints and all that type of stuff. You know, we're going to try to get some videos. I mean, I don't know, there's only so many hours in a day, but yeah, this is just the tip of the iceberg of some of the things you need to think of. And any of the great writers out there that follow the channel and stuff like that, down below, in the comments, put some of your stuff of what I missed. I can't put it all down there. I only got about 15, minutes or so that I'm trying to squeeze this in, but, yeah, these are just things to think about. And whenever you do go on your motos, maximize it, enjoy it, get the most out of it of what you can get. Because if you're like me, I only get maybe one a year, maybe two a year. So I try to really, really enjoy and get to see the things that I want to see, because the places that I go are places that I don't get to see very often. Anyway, I'm Joe, Radio 690 ADV. Thanks so much for stopping in. Thanks for spending your time with me. And if you need anything, don't forget 690adv@gmail.com. You can email me. Don't forget us on YouTube, youtube.com/690adv. Check out all of our videos. Don't forget, if you need any gifts or anything like that, down in our description on our YouTube videos, you can pick up all the things that we have and wear. Make great stocking stuffers. Not only that, just makes great, inexpensive stuff for you. You guys have a great day. Thanks so much for stopping in. You guys have a fantastic day. 690 out.